Meanwhile, we got some stronger thunderstorms firing up out in central and western portions of Keloland. They're going to gradually push eastward as we head through the evening. We do also have a severe thunderstorm watch in place for central and western South Dakota until 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Some of those storms will try and push eastward overnight, so we'll keep an eye on things for a little while longer. A few lingering showers, maybe a storm or two on Tuesday. Otherwise, we do try and get some improvement in place headed toward the midweek outlook. Then we have to keep an eye on Thursday. More on that coming up in your extended forecast, but until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from Keloland Media Group. Keloland News, First at 4.
Coming up, one man is in jail accused of robbing a Sioux Falls bank. We'll tell you what we know.
Plus, a Sturgis man shoots at the public safety building. Details about the allegation coming up.
And how flooding is impacting summer fun at Valley Fair in Minnesota. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Dan Santella. One man is behind bars this afternoon, accused of robbing a bank near downtown Sioux Falls this morning. 34-year-old Abdi Hakim Ismail was arrested shortly after the robbery near Interstate 229. Evidence from the robbery was found.
Sioux Falls police say that the robbery happened on East 10th Street just after 9 a.m. It's blocks away from where Ismail was found. Authorities say that he entered the bank, demanded money, and then left with an undisclosed amount of cash. Around 8 hours earlier, officers were called to a business on East Benson Road for reports of a burglary. Officers arriving on the scene found the front doors of the business broken. 27-year-old Jose Zuniga Argueta was arrested for felony intentional damage to property and third-degree burglary. Police say they do not know if anything was taken from the business.
A Sturgis man was arrested accused of shooting at the city's public safety building over the weekend. The city shared this photo from inside the police chief's office. Officials say it happened just before midnight local time last night. Officials say 20-year-old Frederick Wilson Jr. was seen shooting at the building. Officers confronted Wilson and fired multiple shots at him. He ran and was quickly caught. Explosive components were found near doors, but they never detonated. The South Dakota DCI is investigating the incident.
All right, let's get a look at our weather forecast. Is it July 1st or October 1st?
I know, right?
It really feels a little chilly out there, Adam.
Yeah, especially if you have been in eastern Keloland. That's where the really cool weather has been, where temperatures have been struggling to get out of the 60s in several locations. Keep in mind, for Sioux Falls, for example, average for this time of year is 82. If you want more summer-like conditions, well, there's central and western South Dakota. Here's a look at live Doppler radar over the last about hour or so, and we'll put this into motion so you can see how these storms have been firing up and gradually moving eastward. The severe thunderstorm warning you see at the bottom of your screen, right where our mouse cursor is, that's for southwestern Ogallala, Lakota County, and that'll stay in place until 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time as that storm pushes off to the east. We're also seeing a few more storms east of Rapid City, and then also north and west of Pierre in northwestern Stanley County, central Dewey County as well, getting in on some of this action as well. Speaking of Pierre, here is our Pierre camera. That is a view to the west. 80 right now, but you notice the tree in the foreground, that's getting pushed around a lot. South wind at 24 miles per hour. It has been pretty blustery out there in Hughes County and really across the majority of the region for that matter. Meanwhile, here at Falls Park, it is a noticeably cooler scene with the train just going over the tracks right now. 66 at the airport. Again, 82 is our average. South wind at 22 miles per hour. We've also had a lot of that cloud cover overhead. That has been keeping temperatures very much in check, along with the rain that we've been seeing on occasion. There's a different view of Sioux Falls. We'll switch over to our downtown camera. Meanwhile, across much of the region, we have really seen a pretty solid, sharp split across the river. We're at 80 in Pierre, 83 for Mulbridge, but 68 in Huron and Brookings, 65 Yankton and Spencer for southeastern South Dakota and northwestern Iowa, respectively. And that's going to be the exception to the rule as we go through the next couple of days. We do try to warm up at least a little bit more. Here's a zoomed out view of what we're keeping an eye on. There's our severe thunderstorm watch in blue. That is, again, until 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain Time as these storms try to form a line and then push eastward. Meanwhile, to the east and southeast, we had a little bit of rain earlier, but we're going to watch some development from Nebraska try and move on in. That's also going to give an opportunity for some heavy rain and unfortunately, that means flooding concerns coming back for portions of northwestern Iowa and extreme southeastern South Dakota. We'll go into more detail on that and the rest of your 7-day forecast as we head through the hour.
Sounds good. Thank you, Adam. South Dakota health officials are advising people to take steps to reduce mosquito populations following recent flooding in the southeastern part of the state. The Department of Health says the excess water can create ideal breeding conditions for mosquitoes. Officials say removing standing water can limit them. Some steps are turn over, cover, or throw out anything that can hold water. Cover water storage containers and repair your septic tanks.
Well, the widespread flooding in Minnesota is putting a damper on some summer fun. Kristen Mitchell with our CBS affiliate in Minneapolis takes us to Shakopee, where the effects are still being felt.
This isn't a line for the hottest ride at Valley Fair.
A little longer than expected, but it is what it is.
It's to get on a shuttle bus to go to and from alternative parking lots.
They make you park way over there by Canterbury Park, and then they shuttle you all the way over there.
The park's own lot remains underwater, flooded by the Minnesota River.
When you're out there, you don't really notice, but when you're on Wild Things, some of the higher up rides, if you look around, you can see how extensive it is and how much flooding there really did occur.
A unique experience for the Johnsons, who also found a hidden perk from the flooding: fewer crowds.
It was nice though, because then we didn't have to stand in line for hours, and we just kept going in rides. Like, we didn't even need to get off for one of them.
We did Wild Thing 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and then we did it a few more times later.
Early last week, flooding closed the parking lot and 3 rides. Since then, the water's gone down a foot to 1.5 feet in the parking lot.
It was still a lot of fun though.
Just east of Valley Fair,
it's going down a lot.
It's going in the right direction.
The Minnesota River still floods the bicycle paths Bonnie and Lauren use.
You can't bike on the paths when they're underwater.
They were kids during the historic flood of 1965.
It is very similar, and it is amazing. I feel for the farmers and all the people that have so much damage, and there's so much washing out.
For now, they'll walk where they can.
Let the summer continue.
Yeah.
As people try to make the most out of a summer starting underwater.
My day was great, and shout out to Valley Fair.
Yeah.
Shout out to Valley Fair.
Shout out to Valley Fair.
It was fun.
In Shakopee, Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO News.
Meanwhile, flooding in northwest Iowa has canceled a county fair. Tonight, KELOLAND News going to take you to Rock Rapids for a look at the Lyon County Fairgrounds.
In Waterloo, Iowa, 2 officers are hurt and the suspect is dead after a shooting yesterday morning. Investigators say police were called for a man riding a bike with a gun just after 8 a.m. The man ran when officers arrived. He was knocked to the ground and fired at the officers. The officers shot back, killing him. As of today, both officers were in stable condition. One was expected to be released from the hospital. The Iowa DCI is investigating the incident.